You finally have $10,000 to invest. Most people blow it in investments faster than they earned it. Ha 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 ha. Not because they're dumb, but because nobody told them the one thing that actually matters. I'm Professor Chalkman. I've watched hundreds of students turn 10 grand into freedom, and I've watched just as many turn it into regret. Here's the difference. Picture this. You're sitting at your laptop, checking your bank account, and there it is, $10,000. Maybe it's a bonus. Maybe you saved for 2 years. Maybe someone died and left it to you. I don't know. But it's real money, life-changing money. And immediately, the voices start. Your buddy texts you, "Bro, Tesla's about to explode. Throw it all in." Your uncle at Thanksgiving. "Real estate, kid. Land. They're not making more of it." Some guy on YouTube with a Lambo thumbnail. "Crypto will 10 times this by Tuesday." And you freeze, because you know this moment matters. So let me tell you what happens next for most people. They panic invest. They take that 10 grand, they split it across 7 different things because they saw 7 different videos, and within 6 months, they're down 30%. Not because the market crashed, not because they're unlucky, but because they violated the one rule nobody teaches. Here it is. Your first $10,000 isn't about growing money. It's about learning to keep money. Let me say that again, because this is where everybody messes up. Your first 10 grand is not your ticket to wealth. It's your tuition for not staying broke. You're not building an empire yet. You're building discipline. You're building systems. You're learning how to not self-destruct when the market dips 15% and your chest gets tight. I had a student once named Julian. Julian saved for 3 years to hit $10,000. 3 fucking years. Every overtime shift. Every skipped vacation. He comes into my office, sits down, opens his laptop, and says, "Professor, I'm ready. Where do I put it?" And I say, "What's your emergency fund look like?" He blinks. "My what?" "Your emergency fund. The money you don't invest. The money that keeps you from selling your investments when your car breaks down." He stares at me. This is my emergency fund. Ha ha. But I'm investing it, so I stop him. "Julian," I say, "if you invest this 10 grand today and your transmission dies next month, what are you gonna do?" Silence. "You're gonna sell," I say, "at a loss. And you're gonna feel like investing doesn't work. But it wasn't investing that failed. It was the order you did things in." He sits back. You can see it hit him, like a cold glass of water to the face. "So, what do I do?" Here's what I told him, and here's what I'm telling you. If you have $10,000 and 0 emergency fund, you invest $6,000. You keep $4,000 in a high-yield savings account. Untouchable, boring, safe. Because that 4 grand is what keeps you in the game when life happens. You know what's crazy? People will risk $10,000 on a stock tip from Reddit, but they won't keep $4,000 in cash because it doesn't grow. Ha ha ha. Wild. You know what really doesn't grow? Your portfolio when you panic sell at a loss because you needed $2,000 for rent. Now let's talk about the $6,000 you're actually investing. And before you ask, no, you're not buying individual stocks. Not yet. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care if you watch finance videos 12 hours a day. You are not smarter than the market on your first $10,000. You know who thinks they are? Broke people. Here's what you do instead. You put that $6,000 into a low-cost index fund, something like VTI, VOO, or a total market fund. Boring? Yes. Unsexy? Absolutely. But you know what else it is? Historically reliable, diversified, and emotionally manageable. Because here's the thing nobody tells you about investing. The biggest risk isn't picking the wrong stock. It's picking something so volatile that you can't handle watching it move. I had another student, Amy. She puts her first 10 grand into 3 tech stocks because I believe in innovation. 2 weeks later, one of them drops 18% in a day. She calls me panicking. "Professor, should I sell? Should I buy more? What do I do?" And I say, "Amy, do you even know what that company does?" Long pause. Cloud stuff?" Ha 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 ha. Cloud stuff. $10,000 on cloud stuff. That's not investing. That's gambling with a portfolio login. Look, if you can't explain what you're invested in to a 10-year-old, you shouldn't own it. And if watching it drop 10% makes you nauseous, you're in the wrong thing. That's why index funds are perfect for your first $10,000, because you're not betting on one company. You're betting on the entire economy not collapsing. And if the entire economy collapses, your stock picks weren't going to save you anyway. Now here's the part that separates winners from losers. Time. You put that $6,000 into an index fund, and you leave it there. Not for 6 months, not for a year, for 5 years, minimum. Because compounding doesn't care about your feelings. It cares about time. You know what the average investor's biggest mistake is? They invest in January and check their account in March. It's down 8%. They panic. They sell. They swear off investing forever. Meanwhile, the person who invested the same day and didn't look at it for 5 years, they're up 40%. Same money, same investment, different behavior. This is why your first 10 grand isn't about getting rich. It's about learning to do nothing. It's about building the emotional muscle to watch your account dip, shrug, and keep living your life. Because if you can't handle $6,000 dropping 15%, you will never handle $60,000 doing the same thing. Wealth isn't built by people who make perfect picks. It's built by people who don't quit when things get uncomfortable. Let me tell you about the moment I learned this. Early in my career, I had about $8,000 invested. It was everything I had. The market dropped 20% in 3 weeks. I watched my account go from $8,000 to $6,400. I couldn't sleep. I refreshed my app every hour. I was this close to selling. Then my mentor called me. Old guy, been investing for 30 years. He says, "How's your portfolio?" I say, "Terrible. I'm down like $1,600. He laughs. "Did you need that money this week?" "No." "Then why are you looking at it?" Silence. He says, "You're not losing money. You're learning how to be rich. And most people fail this test." I didn't sell. 5 years later, that $8,000 was worth $19,000. Not because I was smart, because I didn't move. So here's what your $10,000 plan looks like. 4,000, high-yield savings, emergency fund, untouchable. 6,000, low-cost index fund, set it and forget it. And then you add to it. $50 a month, 100, whatever you can. Because investing isn't a one-time event, it's a habit. The person who invests 6,000 once and stops, they're still broke in 20 years. The person who invests 6,000 and adds $100 a month, they're a millionaire. You know what nobody tells you? Wealth isn't loud, it's quiet. It's the person who drives a paid-off car and has 400,000 in index funds. It's the couple who vacation twice a year without checking their credit card balance. It's you, 10 years from now, looking back at this moment and thinking, "I'm so glad I didn't blow it." But here's the sacrifice. You don't get the dopamine hit of day trading. You don't get to brag about your 10 times crypto win. You get something better. You get to sleep at night. You get to build wealth in silence while everyone else loses money out loud. Now for your homework. Here's what you're going to do in the next 72 hours. Step 1. Open a high-yield savings account if you don't have one. Put your emergency fund there. 4,000 minimum. Non-negotiable. Step 2. Open a brokerage account. Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab, doesn't matter. Pick one. Step 3. Invest the remaining $6,000 in a total market index fund. VTI. VOO. Something boring. Step 4. Delete the app from your phone for 6 months. I'm serious. If you can't stop looking, you'll never stop touching it. And the moment you start touching it, you lose. Your first $10,000 will either teach you discipline or regret. There's no in between. Most people choose regret because discipline feels like losing. But 10 years from now, discipline looks like freedom, and regret looks like I should have just left it alone. This is Professor Chalkman. Class dismissed.